Hi everybody, so today we're going to kick up to higher definition, higher quality, like that. Holy shit, that is bright as hell. But now you can finally see that I have gray colored eyes, so that's kind of cool, right? So in today's phobia series, for part two, we're going to be talking about coulrophobia, which is something I don't personally have, but a lot of people do. And if you're not familiar with this term, it just means that you're afraid of clowns. I'm not entirely sure when this phobia came to be. Clowns used to not be a horrific monster movie kind of thing until like I think in the last couple decades. Possibly it had a lot to do with it. Stephen King's novel with Pennywise. I'm not 100% sure on that. I think pretty much John Wayne Gacy had more of it to do with that than actually Pennywise himself. But it is still something interesting because if you didn't know, I actually really love clowns. I think clowns are awesome. Like they were my favorite thing about going to circuses. I didn't care about the elephants and the lions doing tricks and stuff like that. The ringmasters, I always cared about the clowns. I always thought clowns were cool. Which is kind of funny because I don't really like the Joker from Batman. So I don't know what you want to make out of that. So, but clowns itself, I've always thought were really fascinating. They were really cool. Um, I don't personally like makeup, so I would never do the makeup. And I don't really understand why so many people are afraid of clowns, considering we've all dated one at some point in our life. Just look at your ex. But I don't know. It's just something really interesting to me about the eye makeup, the nose, the little water flower, their little chest thing that they got, the giant shoes, the tiny cars, everything like that. I always thought it was really interesting and really fascinating. And I always thought it was really cool. And for whatever reason, people are just terrified of that. I don't really personally get it. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that people are just upset because they look like human beings. Well, I mean, have you ever seen a geisha? The Japanese traditional geishas? Those look scary. I don't know why people aren't afraid of them. Probably because they're women. I don't really know. I think clowns are kind of cool. I remember one time I was on Tinder and I actually matched with a girl who was into like dressing up like a clown, and I was like, ooh, that caught my interest. I thought that would have been fucking cool to date a clown, but I never heard back from her, so it's not really a story I like to talk about because of that. Because I thought it would have been interesting. Like, could you imagine that if you dated a clown? I think that would have been kind of cool. But for whatever reason, people are just terrified of clowns, killer clowns, and I think one of the greatest timeline moments we've ever had in our generation of the internet was the 2016 clown sightings. You guys remember that, the killer clowns? I actually saw a clown. I think this was back in January or February. I talked about it on my old channel. I went out for a walk. I live in SoCal, Southern California. So I went out for a walk in the about midnight, I think. This is like 6 months ago, 6 or 7 months ago. But I went out for a walk in the middle of the night to clear my head, and there was a guy dressed up as a clown just standing on the street corner. And I walked by him, and he didn't move at me, and I didn't budge because I'm not afraid of clowns. So I never thought it was like something intimidating or whatever. I just thought it was kind of goofy. And I was just like, "You all right, dude?" I don't know. To me, it was funny, but like the 2016 killer clown epidemic, the clowndemic, that was the greatest timeline ever. I fucking miss when things like that happen because that was during the time period where Pokemon Go was out. The 2016 elections were out. People were all losing their minds. There were clowns attacking all over the world. Nobody really got hurt, I think. And it's something that we just don't have anymore. Like coulrophobia is just it's it's amazing to me. I don't I wish I could share the fear of clowns because when I see it as like a scary clown in a clown movie, I'm just kind of like, Like I actually know some people that are afraid of the movie Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I love that fucking movie. Like I could watch that movie all the time. I might do an episode on that movie at some point for the movie Police whenever I get back onto that, but we'll see. But I don't know. Are you afraid of clowns? Let me know. It's not really much you can really go off of this. I mean, clowns were never really meant to be scary. They're meant to be funny. They're meant to bring joy to you, bring smiles. And I guess Hollywood at some point, I don't know whether or not it was Stephen King or John Wayne Gacy himself. Somebody messed it up, and now everyone's terrified of clowns. And for all I know, it's probably Pennywise because I think it was the 1990 It miniseries. Maybe it was 1990 or in the 80s, something like that. Tim Curry brought out a version of Pennywise that has transcended the the time of space or whatever. Everyone's afraid of Tim Curry's Pennywise. Again, I wasn't, but I can see why people are afraid of him. He was kind of otherworldly, but I mean it makes sense if you know the origins of Pennywise. I'm not really much of a Stephen King fan myself, but I do appreciate uh, it. I think it's a pretty good book. I haven't got to fully finish it, but I was listening to the audiobook of it for a little bit. It's a really big fucking book. I don't have time to finish the whole thing. So, I don't know. You guys afraid of clowns? Let me know in the comments below. And until the next one, see ya.